Alright everyone, welcome. So, we are just going to take a look around ArcGIS today. By now you should be set up, able to access. You should have your Loom installed, and you should fully be able to remote into all CCV Microsoft resources. So, we're going to go ahead and we're going to log into our account. I'm just going to sign out here real quick. Okay, so I am signed out. So this is the login screen. You should all have your login information at this point. So I've got it saved here. I'm going to go ahead and bookmark this actually really quickly as one of my, let's see, we're going to call this one systems. Okay. Alright, so I've bookmarked it now, so anytime I want to come back to it, I can just come right here and sign in. Alright. You'll jump onto this landing page. There's no content here currently because we just started this enterprise with ArcGIS. So you're the first cohort of students that are engaging with this technology in the college. So we'll be building some feedback in at various junctures just to really get an idea on how impactful and accessible this particular technology is for students. Okay, so this is your home screen. In your gallery, you'll have anything that has been added by you. We don't currently have anything in here, but this is where all of your different layers, your data, your apps, all of this will live. And so my interface is clean. You guys are going to be creating along with me. Okay, if we click on map back here, so this is really where we are going to be doing most of our work. Okay, this right here is, I've just created a map shell. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do now that I've clicked on this, so we have an option. You can engage here, or you can also, I'm going to open this in a new window. I right-clicked to do that. So there's two engines that ArcGIS has. There's their, sort of traditional, and then there's their web viewer one. Okay, so this classic one, you'll see the difference between the two. Well, there's some differences. It is a GUI change, really, is what they've done here. So they've changed the graphical user interface to render information in different ways, or options in different ways. So this is totally up to you, which one you like the most, which one works best for you. Okay, both are going to have all the same functionality. They're just going to lay in different places. So I'm going to use the traditional one for this initial one, and then I'm going to use the map viewer one, since this is the lowest render option, if you will. So for those of you that have a slower internet connection or not as much bandwidth, maybe you've got some mountains in your way, this will be the lighter one of the two to probably utilize. So we'll start here, but just in case you want to know, this is, a lot of systems do this where they have an old sort of active UI and a newer active UI, and they're trying to migrate. So learning on what the migration is good, assuming that they stick with it and don't go back to the original. Okay, so we are in a new map in ArcGIS. I'm just going to title this CCV locations. Let's see. I want to save it. Oh, save as. There we go. So I have to click on it down here. So just really quickly, I wasn't able to, make any changes directly here, like you could say in a Word document. So what I did is I came down here to save and open. So I could open a map too if I had them saved in my gallery, but I'm going to just save this because this is my first one. And we're going to call this CCV locations. Okay, so this is really our first lab assignment right here. I'm going to tag this CCV. I'm going to tag this college. I'm going to tag this Vermont. So your tags are really up to you. And actually I'll say, we'll leave it at that for now. It is entirely up to you what you decide to give as tags. The reason that tags are useful is when you're later trying to, in your gallery, oops, I did that without saving. So let me finish the save first. Always make sure you save your data, college, campuses. Okay. At a summary, this is a map of all CCV locations in the state of Vermont. And we're getting nitpicky since it's proper. We'll capitalize. Okay. Oop, and now a title is required, so CCV all locations. And I'm going to add my name. Okay. I'm going to say Nicole, just so when I submit it, it'll be clear whose submission this is. So make sure first last name, first initial, whatever works for you. I need your identifying name when you're submitting so I can grade effectively. All right, I'm going to save that. Okay, really quickly, where this would come in handy is if I were to go back on over here to the Home tab really quickly, and I were in my gallery, you'll now see that this map exists here. Well, I could come to search and I could say Vermont. You know, obviously I only have one map in here at the moment, but because I've tagged this with Vermont, it's going to show up. So it's a good way to organize your data and your map layers. Okay. So my first objective here is going to, I have a few options. So one option I could do is I could go to each point on the map and I could add them. I could add a layer that already exists. I could pull something in from a URL. Okay, I could create a sketch layer. I could create a root layer, a media layer. I have many options here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a table because the underlying architecture of a map is always going to be a data table. All right. It may be stored in different formats. However, oops, I have to upload my table first. So we're going to create this table really quickly in Microsoft Excel. I thought it was going to let me do it here, but I guess not. Just totally fine. So we're going to create what's called a CSV file. It is a comma-separated value file. I will drop in some CSV-related information here. Okay, I'm going to quickly save this as, just so I have it, CCV locations, Hillary Nicole. Okay, I'm going to go to my appropriate file. Okay, let's see, lab data. Here we go. Okay. All right. So the first field I'm going to have is just ID. This is an arbitrary number. It is a coded system. It could be 1 through, an infinite number of numbers, or it could be based on a particular rubric. It's really up to you how you decide to assign unique IDs. Every data set should have one, though. Here I'm just going to stick with 1 and then, increase from there. So like, for example, this first row is going to have this value of 1 here for the column of ID. So I'm setting up a data table right now. Okay. So this one we're going to call this, we will say CCV location name, or we'll just call this location name since this is all a CCV data set. Depending on how many different sources may be in your data set, you may not want to specify it by CCV. Maybe we decide later we want to expand this data set to include all Vermont State Colleges, which maybe we will do. Okay, so location name is my first piece of data that I want. My second piece of data that I am going to get is I'm going to go latitude, and longitude. Okay, I'm also going to do street number, street address name, we will say city, state, postal code. Okay, we're also going to have county in here. And we're going to add additional data to this layer as well, based on information that we're going to be going to identify. So I'm going to leave this blank for now, but we're going to have a couple of different indicators. So we're going to say indicator 1, indicator 2, just for the moment, and indicator 3. Okay, so I'm going to start with my first location, and this first location, what I'm going to do this is I'm going to open up my handy Google Map. So we could also build on Google Maps. We won't be doing that as much here, simply because it is not the tool that can really build layer levels as ArcGIS can, but it's a really great mapping function as well. So make sure you have maps.google.com always saved. If you are interested in exploring, sharing and creating maps, we will have a session on that. It just won't be the majority of what we do. For today's purposes, we're going to use Google Maps as a way to help us create this data. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I've got Google Maps open. I am logged in with I've created a Google account with my CCV email. And so to do that, I have put up a lab on that one. I've walked through that one. So you guys should be able to do that just fine. So what we are going to do is I'm going to click save. Okay, I'm going to create a new list here. This is going to be my CCV locations. Okay, locations. Just get my caps on. Okay. So I've added this now to CCV locations. All right. So I'm going to go CCV in general. And then what we will have is we'll have anything that pops up as CCV throughout the country. As you can see, we've got some things down here like CCV Food Pantry in Kensington. Looks like it's in Philadelphia. Okay, we've got CCV Painting down in Connecticut. It's obviously not what we're looking for. We are looking for this right here. So effectively, by searching this, we have created this map. Like, we have a visual view right here of the map that you will be generating. What we're really interested in is this data underlying it, because I don't want to necessarily be reliant on Google, my web, my internet connection, all of these, the ability to access a browser, a mobile enabled phone, all of that. I want to create this data myself as part of this exercise. And so these are all of the locations that we are going to create a data set for. Okay, so I'm going to really quickly just go through and I'm going to save all of these to my list so that they're all in one place. Okay. Make sure I have all of them. Okay, this works visually because there's a handful. In most scenarios, we would want to make sure that, we are hand coding this data, we are checking it, and we will be doing that. Okay, let's see, that one's saved. Alright, why does it look like there's 2 locations here? CCV Transit Center. Huh. So I think this is the technical college, so I am going to add that one too. Okay, now I'm just going to go back through and check, make sure all of these got saved. Yes. So one exercise that we will also do is we will find from your home address in ArcGIS what is the closest one to you, which you may know already. But as an exercise in spatial analysis, we will create this. Okay, so I've added all of these here. I'm going to go over to my saved. I'm going to come over here to this. Okay, so if I click on edit this list, I now have a pop-up that says list description. So I'm just going to say this is a saved list of all CCV locations. Oops. Thank you very much. Okay. More data is always helpful. All right. So I could click on search for a place to add. Maybe I wanted to add, VSC colleges. Let me see what happens. Oh, nope, nothing came up specifically. So it's okay. Okay, so I've looked at my list. It looks good. I'm going to go back. Okay, this is a private list. All right, so I'm going to make this. I'm going to edit my sharing options. Okay, I'm going to make it public. This means anybody can see it. I also now have a link to share, so I'm going to copy this link. I'm going to just go paste this in my working file real quick so I have it. Please always have a working file or a notepad when you are going through. You can use any any tool that works for you. I have used a number of different ones over the year. I'm trying to see if I have one currently installed. I don't. So I'm actually going to install one. We're going to look up JEdit, which is a free one that I know works on Mac, Windows, and Linux. It's pretty lightweight. Used it before. Alright, let's let that get to going. Okay. Alright. So now what I want to do with this list is I want to share this list. Okay. So I can share it as an email, I can share it publicly, I can share it on Facebook and Twitter, what have you. This is all available to you. Okay. But say I wanted to extract the locations in this list. Is there any way you think that I might be able to do that? And unfortunately, it's not something that Google makes super available to you. And so I'm just going to go back really quickly. Either way, I can now share this list. What we are going to do is manually enter this data now. So this is our we've got 11 places we're going to add to this set of data. We're also going to we're going to change this around a little bit. So I'm just going to do street address here instead of breaking out the name. Okay. Installed. So I'm just going to really quickly get this done. Mac blocked this, but I didn't realize. Okay. There we go. Okay. That's right. I have to install Java, update. And sometimes this is what you're going to have to do. All right. So I first want to install. Anytime someone's telling you to go into the command line, be sure that you know what you're doing. Okay, so sudo means I'm operating at command level. RM is remove. This dash FR says from effectively to the computer. And then this path is the place on your computer where it is asking you to remove it from. Okay. So I'm going to just copy these. Just say yes, I'd like to update. Okay. Now I'm going to see if that works again. Go and install Java. Always verify what you have. What do I even have? 13. All right, get that running real quick. Sometimes you will have to update and install software. Okay. All right, here we go. So I'm going to open back up this. I got my street address here. Delete this. Okay. So the first location is, I'm going to write the full proper name, Community College. Okay. And I'm going to stop. Okay. All right. So this is the true location. We're going to add one more column that just says short name. Okay. And this is just going to be Bennington. Okay. So we've got 11 locations. So I'm going to pull this down to 12. So let's try that again. Okay. I'm also going to double click on this, but then I'm just going to come in here. I'm going to edit these names this way. This is just, you know, sort of shortcuts to not have to retype the whole thing over again, just the name at the end. You can manually enter this how you want, as long as it conforms to the standard, and your submission comes in looking like mine. I am fine with how you choose to enter data into your spreadsheets. So, where's the amount? Which I misspelled. You will see me misspell often. Albans. You know, we're obviously working with a pretty small data set, but there's a reason why data engineers are paid a a lot of money is it can be a difficult task to go through and keep a data set live and clean. Okay, Upper Valley, Montpelier. Okay, so I've also got this transit station here, which I am not going to add into this data set at the moment because it's not technically one of the campuses. Okay, so now I'm going to just go through here. Okay, so latitude and longitude I'm going to get in a second. Show you how we do that. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to get the address. So this is 324 Main Street. This one is 40 Harmony Place. And I will get the zip codes after. I'm just going through and doing what is going to be the most expedient in the moment. Main Street. I'm not going to add the number 1 here. Okay, I'm going to add an address to column in case it's needed. You never know what you need. I am always of the opinion that more data is better. Okay, 60 West Street, Rutland campus. Let's see, 100 Main Street. Newport. So shout out to those folks up in Newport. I was trying to take a stained glass class there this summer. It didn't work out. I hope to do it next year. I'm actually going to remove the number because these are actually just suites. Okay, St. Albans. Let's see. North Main Street. Whiskey and Abenaki. Okay. Alrighty. So Vermont is going to be the same in all of these. So I'm going to put it at 1, drag it down to the others. Okay. Country is all going to be the same, or county is not all going to be the same. So this is Bennington County. Alright. So how are we going to get the counties now? So first I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to click on this specific one and see what information it gives me. So now looking at the College of Bennington. Okay, it's saved in my location. I can add a note to it if I wanted to. Okay. So the plus code. Okay. They work similar to street addresses. Use a simple digital address, and they can help you find locations. Okay. So this is what we are going to use in order to pull the latitude and longitude coordinates that we need. Okay. Alright, so copy that. I'm going to go to a new page just to see what happens. Paste. Alright, so it has now brought me right here. So this right here is a digital address that Google is rolling out. Okay. The other thing I can do is I can come down in here Now it's brought me to the location. It showed me the location is right here. Okay, it's currently closed. It opens at 8:30. So if I were to click right here on this little guy, I could right click, and you see that it's popped up these address coordinates. So I've copied them to my clipboard. I'm going to go back into my data set. Just paste them right here. Oh, that didn't work. Let's try that again. Okay, I'm going to right click, and then it'll pop that up, and I'll just click on it, and it copies it to my clipboard. Come back in here to my maps, and it does. Okay, so what it has done is copied them both together. I'm gonna go through and copy all of these together, and then I'm gonna do a quick sort to columns, or data to columns, text to columns technically, exercise on these to split. The latitude is the first one, the longitude is the second one, these into separate ones. First, I'm gonna also set this particular data, this particular column, to be text, so that when this negative, you see how it has the negative sign in front of the 73, so that when I do the text to columns into the cell, it doesn't delete that negative, it retains it. Okay, so I've set that as text. I'm also going to set this one as text, just so there's no question by the machine. And then I'm going to go back in, and I'm going to pull this for each of them. So I'm going to click on the Brattleboro campus. Okay, it's going to pop me up right here. I'm going to come on over, I'm going to right click, and then I just left click on that. So first thing is you right click, scroll over where you want, and then you left click, and it'll copy it for you. Okay, and so we're just going to do this exercise through all of them. Okay, St. Johnsbury. Actually gonna make this even more efficient. Okay, Rutland is next. Okay. I might speed some of this up. This looks like a cool location. Look at it. Oh wow. There's some sort of mining right behind it. Vineyards. These are kind of out there outside of downtown. Alright. A couple more. And you can use this to generate latitude and longitude for any place. So one thing that we will also do is we will add to this community map of the closest libraries to each of you. Since this is an online course, we're dialing in from all over the state. So we're going to create a local library list so that everyone can see where folks are located. I don't suggest ever sharing your personal address or data information. So just something to keep in mind, that there are ways to collaborate in the spirit of things without exposing your sensitive data. Okay. So now I've done this, I've got all of these. You'll see, we're going to stay in the 72nd, 73rd parallel, depending on where we are in the state. So for example, you'll find that, the Upper Valley and the St. Johnsbury campuses are both in the 72 sort of longitude. However, St. Johnsbury is in the 44 42nd or 44th latitude, and Upper Valley's in the 43rd. So, you know, it helps us see where on a map these places are. Okay, Vermont has a very limited band. One way you can identify if your data set is correct is if there was a positive 73 in any of these, or a negative latitude, we know that we're on the opposite side of the world. And so just keep that in mind. Okay, so really quickly we're going to do a text, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. We're going to do a text to columns exercise. This is a data function. Okay, so I'm going to come on over to data. Got it. Okay, and I've got this text to columns. It's also probably on your home tab. I'm obviously using a Mac, so it's going to look a little bit different depending on where you are. Okay, so data, and then I'm looking for text to columns. If you're on a Windows machine, it'll look slightly different. Okay, so I have two options: delimit or fix width. In this case, we have a delimiter. It is the comma. Okay, so we're going to select that. I'm going to unselect this, and I'm going to tell it it's this one. And now you'll see right here that the data has split. That comma has disappeared, and my data is in this next column. Okay, I'm going to keep it as text for now. Same thing with this one, because I want to retain that negative sign. I don't want anything to go wrong. And these are coordinates. They're not necessarily quote-unquote numbers. Okay? They are numbers, though. But some spreadsheet programs have a hard time differentiating, and you don't want to lose anything in the transition from Excel to ArcGIS. Okay, so we have a few more pieces of data we need to add still. I forgot to do the zip codes when we were going through, so we're going to go ahead and do those. So 05404. There's also a phone number here, and I'm going to add this. What are they calling this? The copy plug, the plus code. So this is the plus code. Okay, so we're also going to add this to our data set. So by the time you're done creating this data, okay, it automatically is inserting it. And then doing that text to columns things for me. Okay. Alright. I actually don't want it to do that. I want it to just paste, keep source column widths. I'll use the source formatting. No, I just want to paste this. But I want to use the text import wizard. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, we'll get rid of this one after. Now it's there. Okay, we're also, let's see what else we can add here. I never read the comments. The comments are, well, sometimes helpful, sometimes not. Okay, I'm going to copy this full address to, I'm going to say full address here as a single string. It's always helpful to have. And I do not want that to happen. So it is a simple paste special. But it is still, why is it doing this to me? I don't want it to do that. Oh. this is what we're going to do in the moment. I know that this is a repetition of information, but for the purposes of demonstration, we're going to go through it. You'll also notice that I actually put in the correct zip code here. I put in 05404, and it corrects it because this is currently a number. I'm going to change this to text, okay, and then redo it, and now it retains the 0. So anytime you're working with zip codes, again, this is another instance where you make sure that your data column is set properly to text. Okay? Otherwise it won't be able to render it. Okay, so we're going to go through and we're going to collect some additional information. Okay, so we're going to leave it this way. Okay, we're going to add Winooski here. Okay, we're going to do phone number. We don't need the phone number. Actually, we are going to do the phone number. Okay, we're going to do this as structured this way, without the without the parentheses. 0505. Okay. Alright, anything else that we want to do? Nothing here. Okay. So I'm going to go starting from here. Okay, I'm going to copy this one, paste it, add the phone number. Okay. This is St. Albans City, I'm going to put it there, and then 05478. We'll come back to county in a minute. I'm going to copy that plus code. I'll put it here. Okay. So these are really meant to be in a single, but unfortunately the way that this is structured is it's just adding it in a strange way. So it's also adding this space for us, which means it's doing that to all of them. So I want to really quickly trim the data. We'll have to do it as a different step. So one of the joys of working with spreadsheets is that they don't always do what you want them to do. All these trailing leading spaces that we're going to need to get rid of, and we'll do that in a different step. Okay, so I've copied all of this information over. I'm going to go to my next one. Middlebury, copy, paste, add the phone number. Oops, forgot something. Okay. Okay, so this one just actually did it even. Okay. So how we're going to get around this is we are going to nest our information. Okay. Alright. Let's see if this will work for us. There we go. Now it's not doing it. Okay. Alright, so the quick and easy answer there is that you double click into the field and then you do it. Okay. So I know I'm adding extra steps here. It's because, just like you, I'm always remembering and learning how to use things more efficiently and forgetting along the way. So we're going to call this one full address again. Delete these two. Okay. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm just double clicking into the cell itself and pasting it here. Otherwise, if I just single click and you don't see that little text marker right there, that means you're not fully in it. Okay? So Excel is finicky. There's a whole course on Excel. We were interested in learning the ins and outs, helping master it alongside me. I do teach that course too. Right. Okay. So what's this Elm Street location? Alright, let's go back. So we just did White River Junction. Okay. We've got this Elm Street location. Alright, copy. Paste. Add the phone number real quick. 228. I'm gonna come back over here, get that plus code, do the same thing. Make sure I'm fully in there. Okay. Alrighty, so next one. This guy. Okay. I'm going to just finish filling out my data. Okay, so next thing I'm going to pull up is a GIS layer of Vermont counties. Okay, here we go. Vermont.gov has got the data I want. Okay, so I'm going to just, this is the Esri layer, perfect. Okay, it's a feature layer. It's last updated, so it's pretty, okay. View the data table. Got our 14 counties, perfect. Anyone can see this content. Okay, so here we have our three options. I'm actually going to download this as a shapefile because that's really easy for ArcGIS. So I'm going to come on over to my device. I'm going to find that download. Where did it go? Oh, I have to unzip it first. I'm actually going to go ahead and just move this. Okay. Okay, I'm going to try the GeoJSON instead, see if that will do it easier. Hey kiddo, how's it going? It's there for me, and I'm going to pause at this point. Our next step is going to be, we're going to add the county here so that we can link these two files together, and I will come back in a little bit. Thanks guys.